Hey, what is up, YouTube? It is K-Rod 7435 here. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I wanted to make this video to talk about Mr. Conor Benn that had responded to me via Instagram, and I wanted to talk about this because I figured this is a good little friendly response to Conor Benn. Whoever is watching this video, or anybody out of his team, but I just wanted to send my respects to you, Conor Benn. This is no shade to Conor Benn. I think he's a tremendous talent. But I wanted to make this video to basically state that Conor Benn responded to me via Instagram. And I wanted to break it down and probably just give my initial thoughts on it. And yeah, just, go about that route. But anyways, let's get right to it. For those of you that don't know, Conor Benn, he is a contender welterweight, prize fighter, I would say at this point. He fights under DAZN via Eddie Hearn as his promoter through Matchroom Boxing. Conor Benn is, I want to say, 21-0, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I gotta check that record out. Let's see. Yeah, he's 19-0. He has 12 knockouts, 63.16%. His nickname is the Destroyer. He's 25 years old. He's an orthodox style fighter. He's 5'8". And I want to say his arm reach is probably 68, 69. But Conor, he's a good fighter. His next fight is in December 11th. So I can't wait for that fight. His recent fight, for those of you that don't know, was against Adrian Granados. Very good fight. This fight went the distance. It was a 10-rounder. He definitely gave Granados some work. But it was a very, difficult fight for Conor, because this is the very first fighter that actually had boxing IQ. But the problem with this fight was just that Conor, he was struggling with a guy that was a mover. So I think this is a really good fight for him to get more experience and garner some more talent so he could work on his weaknesses and increase his strengths. So Conor, he did a really good job trying to nullify Granados, but it was a very difficult fight for him because, that the flaws itself definitely really showed what he needed to work on, learning how to cut the ring off, learning how to give the guy more pressure to the ropes, and forcing a fighter to his back foot when you have the pressure, in your hands to hurt the fighter. So Conor, he definitely got a really good semi-difficult victory. It was a good, I would say medium hard and difficult type fight. I would probably say third or second tier difficult fight. But the higher tier fights would be Boots, Virgil Ortiz, Rashidi Ellis, guys that are going to give him boxer puncher problems, and they're going to give you elusive technical issues that are going to become a more difficult fight in the future. But for those of you that don't know, here's this comment that I had spoken out to Conor, which I try to be respectful, because I'm not going to disrespect fighters, because, unless there's fighters that I truly don't like, that I'm not going to fuck with them. But fighters that I do mess with, and I actually do have mad love for those fighters, I just keep it real with them. So this is what I said. I said, I'm going to keep it 100. You need to fight Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, or Rashidi Ellis, because that's the only way you're climbing to the top for division supremacy. Until then, you're not showing any kings why you're the most feared fighter to many. You need killers on your resume. And then he came out to say, I got time. I'm not in no rush. Which is understandable, and I definitely respected that. And I said, I respect that a lot. Keep grinding. I can't wait to see it. You're always eager for success, so I'm always behind that mindset. So how I broke this down was that I got time and I'm not in a rush. I want to say that is something where Conor believes his skills need to be sharpened more, because he knows when he does reach to that top level, he's going to have to face a guy like Jaron Ennis one day. He's going to have to face a guy like Virgil Ortiz one day. He's going to have to face somebody like maybe, I don't even know, but the competition is just getting deep at 147. But what about Radza Butayev one day? What about Kujartio Abudakrov, which I believe he can beat? But as far as the killers go, there's really not enough easy fights that you could really say he could actually conquer. But I would say like the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences, the Ugases, or even Danny Garcia, to say the least. Those fights are probably out the table. But I wouldn't mind those fights, even if they were to offer it to Conor. But I think Conor, he's just trying to get his experience up, and he's trying to get himself in position to be ready for those high-level guys. Because we all know Boots and Virgil, they're going to see each other at the top. So Conor, he's definitely going to see them. I think a good test for Conor for the very first opponent that I would expect him to try to see if he could get inside the ring with would be Mikey Garcia. I think Mikey Garcia is a really good tailor-made opponent for Conor Benn. That would be like my first opponent out of 5. That would be a good, test for him to gain and garner more fight experience from. The second opponent would be a guy like Maurice Hooker. I think that's a beautiful fight. Maurice Hooker, he ain't no joke. That man can hit, but on top of that, he knows how to box. He knows how to give you trouble. The third opponent I'd like to see him in there with would be Jamal James. I think that's a very difficult fight, and I don't ever see Jamal James ever being that type of guy to ever be out of the tough fight. He's going to give you work, but on top of that, he just has great, good, elusive boxing technique, but he still gets touched up here and there. So, but the style-wise, it's going to be more of him staying on the outside, basically relying off of his back foot in order for him to win. Not much of a puncher. So I think Conor, if he hits Jamal at the right spot and gets him wobbling, he could definitely knock him out. So that would be a good third opponent, I would say, for him. The fourth opponent, I don't know. I like to see maybe Josecito Lopez. That might be a pretty good opponent. I think a Josecito Lopez, some guy with high level, veteran level IQ, fight experience, that'll definitely get him ready. I think those type of veteran level opponents would be absolutely tremendous for Conor. So if he can go in there with the style like Josecito Lopez, Josecito is going to give Conor some really destructive rounds. But if that's not going to happen, I actually wouldn't mind Rashidi Ellis to actually replace that. Just simply for the fact that I understand that Conor, he probably believes that those guys that I mentioned are going to be very difficult for him. So he's probably trying to go the veteran level route, where he's going to try to get veteran level competition under his wing. And then when he's ready for Rashidi Ellis, Virgil Ortiz, or Jaron Ennis, then I can definitely see him do better, in that regard. But if anything, I actually wouldn't mind a Thomas Delorme fight, because Delorme, even though that he got knocked the F out by, Jaron Ennis, that was his third stoppage in all of his career. But it's like I personally think this is a really good fight for him. I personally think a Thomas Delorme is a perfect style matchup, and it's a perfect fight in general for Conor to grow from that type of talent. But if that fourth opponent can't be locked in, I'd say the fifth and final opponent that would be good for Conor, for him to grow, would be uh I don't even know. I'm probably gonna have to go with shit, I don't know. I don't want to say Green Beans because Green Beans, he's a world beater. And I don't want to say Omar Figueroa Jr. because I personally believe Omar, he's not built for, he's not built for 147. I probably say maybe Abel Ramos. That might be that I think that would be a perfect opponent for Conor. So I don't know. I think Abel Ramos or Eric Bone would be really good fights for him, or Justin Deloach. I personally wouldn't mind Justin Deloach because he's 27 years old, 19-5. Came off of really two devastating losses, but still, that's a good ass fight. Or Blair Cobbs. Blair Cobbs is a damn good fight. He's a southpaw. Justin, he's an orthodox. But I think if anything, Blair Cobbs, that would be a perfect fight because he's a southpaw, and you want to get somebody with a slick or more aggressive southpaw style, so that way you could be ready for boots, in the future. So I don't know. Like I think that's what Conor's going for. I don't know who he's gonna fight in general, but I think if anything, it would all make sense in the world for Conor to possibly fight maybe somebody in the top maybe 25 in the world as far as like rankings go. But I think he's just getting better, so he's just trying to garner more experience so that way he can be ready for the top competition. So I don't blame him. I think Conor, he's he's obviously doing it, the correct way. And he's obviously just trying to get his experience ready so that way he could be ready for those top level competitor fighters that could possibly give him trouble. When he makes the decision to possibly step it up. So I don't know how that would work, but I personally believe there's a lot of things that he should definitely work with. And I think eventually he's, just only getting better. So I don't know. I personally think where Conor's mindset is at, he's just trying to build himself up bit by bit. And then when he's ready, he's ready. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I have no shade or no hate towards Conor. I think Conor is a terrific fighter. I would like to see him up there, with all the top guys. But I think what the problem is just that when you have been fighting a bunch of guys within your country and not coming over across the Atlantic to challenge American level competition, I say at this point of your career, it's better for you to do that now instead of doing that later, because when you do step up to the more tougher level, competitive fights, those fights are going to give you more trouble, and then you're not going to be more educated on those styles where you haven't done your homework enough to be ready for those type of fighters. So I personally believe Conor, he has all the tools or the potential to possibly match his skill set with a guy like Virgil or Boots. But I'd say as of now, he's just getting better. So I respect that out of him. He obviously isn't trying to take risks now. He rather take it later so that way he's ready. And I mean, I probably say give him a good maybe year or 2 years down the line. You could definitely see him up there, with guys like Virgil Ortiz or maybe Amantis Stanionis or anybody that's going to be on the come up to the 147, pound division. Honestly, I personally think him and Josh Taylor are going to see each other. Him and Tank Davis are going to see each other. Regis Prograis, the names are just going to keep getting more dangerous and dangerous down the line. So I think wherever that may lay into the future, that's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, I can't wait for it. So that's pretty much my initial thoughts on Conor Benn, and I wish him nothing but the best. So I hope he does bigger and better things because this ain't no hate. I was just curious, and I figured that I suggest these possible names for you because I think when he's ready for those big top dogs in his division, he has to bring it with all his might to bring the fight to those guys. Because fighting Virgil Ortiz, fighting Boots, fighting Rashidi Ellis, those guys are killers. And if Conor Benn wants to survive, at the top of that, lion's den, where those are true, just absolute predators, then I could truly see his point of view of why he feels like he's not ready yet, because he probably still has a lot more skills to build off of to be ready for that type of level. So I definitely respect his point of view, and there's no hate on that because sometimes when you're not ready, you gotta just sharpen up your tools, and then once you feel comfortable enough to face that dangerous level competition, then boom, you're ready. But some fighters are just built differently, where some fighters like Muhammad Ali, he was game bred, and he was ready to beat Sonny Liston, back in the day when he was 21 years old. And some fighters like Mike Tyson, he was ready to to become the youngest heavyweight champion at what, 20 years old. So I mean, every fighter has a different growth development of how good they are, and I think it's better to listen to your body and see how good your progression of skills are before you put yourself in that position to fight the top competition of your division. But that's pretty much it. Shout out to Conor Benn. I hope you do well in your upcoming fight. You're definitely a growing talent, and you're definitely one of the best, hottest contenders out here, at least trying to get better. So I can't wait to see what's next. So shout out to Conor Benn, and shout out to the real ones out of the UK. So that means you, Mo Boxing. So go subscribe to Mo Boxing over on YouTube. Very good YouTuber. So salute to you, Mo. And salute to Conor Benn, man. I appreciate him basically responding back to me. So hopefully I can see you in person in real life. But I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.